Welcome to You Can Be Healed with Connie, Episode 2. I am a Certified Theta Healer and a holistic entrepreneur. I do emotional healing and I help people get rid of their emotional pain and struggles. The purpose of this podcast is to show you how to improve your emotional strength and how to respond to negative situations in life with a pleasant mindset. Remember, life is only 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. If you want to learn more what is theta healing and what I do, you can refer to my first episode or visit my Instagram, You Can Be Healed, for more information. I would also like to make a disclaimer that I am not a psychologist and everything that I'm sharing here are my personal experiences and through my self-learning. I've been spiritual since I was young, and I am a Buddhist. I love Buddhism stories, and they inspire me a lot. I always have a great passion for spirituality, and I believe when the student is ready, the teacher appears. I met my spiritual mentor, who is a monk from Thailand, in 2011, and that's when my real spiritual journey began. Since then, my life had changed 180 degrees when I started practicing meditation, mindfulness, and applying law of attraction into my life. And the journey has led me to become a certified theta healer in 2018. I've witnessed every of my clients' life change positively after healing, and that including myself. It has proved me the power of mind and the power of healing. You may not know many emotional issues can be resolved through emotional healing. However, you do not have to agree or believe everything that I said here, but I only want you to feel it, to try it, and to experience it yourself with your heart. My sharings are coming from my own healing journey, my clients' profound healing results, as well as my own studies and discovery. From the books and articles that I've read, and to Buddhist teaching and different inspirational stories that have inspired me, and I hope they will inspire you too. So now, let's get started. Today, I'm going to share two of the most common emotions and how to deal with them. They are anger and resentment. So what are the differences in between anger and resentment? Anger and resentment, they are like twins because they often go together, but they are two very different emotions. Anger is an automatic and immediate reaction to a disturbing situation or an unpleasant event. Resentment, however, is not really an automatic response to a situation, and most of the time, our resentments are not new. They are not from the present. They are almost always rooted in the past that's stored in our subconscious mind. Anger refers to a strong feeling of displeasure. Resentment, on the other hand, is a feeling of bitterness that you experience. Resentment is usually an emotion composed of anger, pain, hurt, and disappointment. It is not based on the present event, but on a number of past events, which can be triggered by the present event. Resentment usually involves reliving in the painful experiences again and again, which means the person keeps living in the past and they fail to let go of the hurt and forgive the one that hurt them. Unlike anger, that can sometimes be positive and motivated. I will explain this in a minute. Resentment is never positive as it only hurts you, and resentment works as a barrier which makes you unable to forget and forgive and to move on with your life. Anger is natural, but resentment is a choice that you make. Anger turns into resentment when we allow it to be persistent. We must learn how to deal with anger so you won't turn into resentment. I want to share one of my favorite quotes from Buddha. Buddha said, "Holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intention of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. Imagine you're holding the burning coal in your hand. You are hurting yourself, right? When anger arises, it is trying to tell us something important. We must take it as an indication to pause, slow down, and reflect on what's going on for us. As I mentioned a minute ago, anger can be positive because most of the time, anger is trying to protect us or someone else. It comes up in situations of injustice, when we see something that we know is not okay, when we feel that a need is not being met, or that a boundary has been crossed. Anger helps tell us where the line is in between ourselves and everyone else. It tells us about justice, our self-esteem, and our own vulnerability. Sometimes anger protects us from our fear. It gives us the courage and motivation to stand up for ourselves and push someone away who is not treating us right. Anger is a normal feeling. We all feel angry sometimes. Different people feel and show anger in different ways. However, no one can make you angry without your consent. Our emotional overreactions usually point toward unresolved issues within us. It generally has zero to do with the person who triggers us, but when we are aware of it, we usually blame others. And how to deal with your anger? When we don't control our anger, we can become aggressive and do things we will regret when we are angry. We all have to learn how to cope with anger, because anger shows us exactly where we are hurt, so that we can make it a priority to work on that part of our lives. You can ask yourself why you're feeling angry. Is it because you cannot get something that you want? You see something that is not fair? Or you are upset about a conversation or someone's action? You're hurt? You're scared? You're tired? Or you're feeling too much stress? Ask yourself all those questions and find out what triggers you. Then what you can do is, first, write a letter to that person and tell them anything you want to tell. You can write anything in your letter. That's one of the ways to release your negative energy. After you're done, tear that paper or throw it away. Imagine your anger or resentment are gone with it. Second, practice gratitude. When we are full of gratitude, there's no room for anger and resentment. By focusing on what we have in our lives, we don't have time or energy to focus on what we don't have or what we've lost. Gratitude shifts our perspective on everything instantly. And third, this one is important. Examine the root of your anger. Ask yourself why you're so angry about whatever or whoever appears to be the cause. Why you act in that way? How do they serve you? Most of the time, it's never 100% someone else's fault. Take a look at how you contribute to the situation you are resentful about and take responsibility for it. And oftentimes, you will be surprised that the real cause is something deeper and older, and the current event is just triggering the unhealed event. When we take responsibility for our feelings and actions, we will free ourselves. And I want to end this episode with a piece of wisdom from Buddha. It's a very inspiring story. One day, Buddha was walking through a village. A very angry and rude young man came up and began insulting him. He said, "You have no right teaching others." He shouted, "You are as stupid as everyone else. You are nothing but a fig." Buddha was not upset by this insult at all. Instead, he asked the young man, "Tell me, if you buy a gift from someone and that person does not take it, to whom does the gift belong?" The young man was surprised to be asked such a strange question, and he answered, "You will belong to me because I bought the gift." The Buddha smiled and said, "That is correct, and it is exactly the same with your anger. If you become angry with me and I do not get insulted, then the anger falls back on you. It's very inspiring. I hope that you remember, everyone can try to make you angry, but no one can do that without your consent. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if this inspires you, please help share it with your friends and family to spread love and increase the awareness of emotional health and theta healing. You never know who needs to hear this right now. Thank you so much for joining me wherever you are, and I'm so grateful for your time. My episode will be published on every Monday and Thursday. And remember to follow my Instagram, You Can Be Healed. You can contact me there to share your feedbacks. I'm sending you all love and light and wishing you all joy, happiness, health, and abundance. Stay blessed, everyone. I will talk to you very soon.